I figured we'd start us off here, seeing as you didn't want to watch me walk all the way back to the crypt. And we need to get the silver heart, which we're going to do right now.
Thanks, Gerda. And Wolfgang.
Let's take a look at it.
Gerda's silver morning heart for Wolfgang.
So now we need to head back to Altotting, because we have one more crucial piece of this whole puzzle to get. And then, who knows what's going to happen? Craziness. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe you know. So let's head back to Altotting. And now what we want to do...
Hello.
Yeah. I love how when he looks back at his book, he's like, I don't know, whatever. So now we want to go ahead and use this card so we can go down to the whatever.
I'd like to make a prayer, Father.
Awkward. So, we're here to make a prayer. Or are we? So, we have a display case over here.
The heart urns.
And we have...
I think the box is for penitent offerings.
And we do have a penitent offering.
It's the Lady of Altotting.
So let's go ahead and take the heart, because we have a penitent offering.
Take this gift. I think you know why I'm here. I apologize for even thinking of violating your shrine. But you know I need to get what's inside Ludwig's urn. I think you want me to help him, and Gabriel. Gabriel may be egotistical and selfish, but he's got a good heart, I think. Anyway, he doesn't deserve this curse. Help me help both of them. Please.
I don't even know if I can handle that much cheese. But what we got over here to the right is a set of doors.
I hope this works.
And the whole clue was the whole wind blowing, the candle blowing out.
I only have a few seconds.
Yes, we do. We want this one. That sound is annoying. Please stop. Please stop. What's an odds woman? Would she give me her number? I'd like to go out on a date. Two months later. So we're in the theater foyer, and it's 2 months later, so obviously we've got everything set up to... Those are the worst programs I've ever seen. Why are you folding it? That's... She's 2 months and she still has Gabriel's keys. Still has the priest's card.
Wagner's layout of the theater.
Let's go ahead and take a look at this. Oh. Well, let's go ahead and hear what the whole thing is.
The Curse of Engelhart by Richard Wagner. Act 1. Many years ago in a small German village there lived a young man named Engelhart. Engelhart was a lowly blacksmith's apprentice. He was fair-faced, but by nature gentle and shy. Being orphaned, and having lived with a blacksmith in virtual slavery since his parents died, Engelhart had nothing in the world to claim as his own. Nothing, that is, but an amazing talent. For 10 years, the beautiful and much-desired wares that had passed for the blacksmith's own had actually been produced by Engelhart. The blacksmith, a greedy and vain man, was determined to keep this a secret. He forbade Engelhart to ever work the metal in front of another soul, on pain of death, but the blacksmith's ingratitude went further still. He was so plagued with envy of Engelhart's talents that he treated Engelhart like a lazy and worthless dog. The other villagers, assuming that the blacksmith's behavior toward Engelhart must be deserved, followed suit. Now in the same town there lived a rich baron. The Baron maintained a patronly and righteous face with the villagers, but it was rumored that he was actually unspeakably cruel and wicked. There was also a young maiden, Hildegunde, who was lovely and good-hearted. Hildegunde was the only one who took pity on Engelhart and was kind to him. Engelhart loved Hildegunde madly, but was too shy and too penniless to even speak of it. In the first act, we learn that Hildegunde's parents, blinded by the prospective fortune, have betrothed her to the Baron. When Hildegunde learns of this, she is terrified and protests that the Baron is reputed to be evil, but her parents brush this off as jealous rumors and demand her obedience. Poor Hildegunde is too good to defy her parents' wishes, and so she reluctantly agrees. The Baron, with great public ceremony, sends Hildegunde a betrothal gift of a silver jewelry box. Hildegunde, overcome by her fear and anger at the betrothal, casts the jewelry box into the fire. She is immediately remorseful and pulls it out, but it is too late. The delicate silver has been badly marred. Hildegunde fears for her life when she sees the damage. She is afraid the blacksmith would report the damage to the Baron, so she approaches Engelhart and begs him to help her. Engelhart thinks of his master's warning, but determines to disregard it for Hildegunde's sake. He melts down the silver and constructs another box even more beautiful than the first. When Hildegunde sees his great artistic skill, she falls in love with him. The two come together in an aria of love, but their bliss is momentary. What about the betrothal? The young couple, knowing the Baron will never relinquish his claim, decide to run away.
Ooh, spicy.
Act 2. The Baron learns of Hildegunde and Engelhart's disappearance. He is so furious that he hires hunters to track the pair down. Hildegunde and Engelhart are found and arrested. In a public trial, Hildegunde pleads their case in a stirring aria. She tells the townspeople of Engelhart's great skill and his mistreatment by the blacksmith. She tells them Engelhart is good and kind. The blacksmith should be turned out for his evils and Engelhart given the shop. Then she and Engelhart could marry and live in peace with their neighbors. Her parents chose a groom for her, but she begs to be allowed her own choice. It is then the Baron's turn to speak. He declares that he has been terribly injured, a victim of a wayward girl. His marriage claim was first. There can be no other. He implies that if the villagers do not help him make it right, he will remove his aid from the village coffers. Then the Baron turns to Engelhart.
Oh, jealousy. There we go.
By the rights of the injured, the Baron announces he is empowered to set a curse. The Baron curses Engelhart with a terrible and ancient malady, that whenever the moon shines in the night, Engelhart will become a marauding wolf. The village is terrified of wolves, and has been plagued for many years by a local renegade wolf which has taken the lives of many children. The Baron further declares that because he is merciful, he will still marry Hildegunde, but not until she renounces Engelhart with her own words. Until she does, he will keep her safe from further shame by locking her up in a small room at the top of his house. The villagers naturally side with the Baron. Hildegunde goes to her prison, and Engelhart does indeed become a wolf at night. At first Engelhart is hated and feared by the villagers. They make the sign of the evil eye at him, and will not tolerate his presence in town. But soon, rumors start to circulate about Engelhart the wolf. It seems he is always careful not to harm any human being, nor any domestic stock. In fact, he even does some good for the villagers. He scares away bandits, and he keeps the renegade wolf at bay. No more children are lost to the fangs of the night. Engelhart's kindness shines through even the dire nature of his curse. Hildegunde, meanwhile, still loves Engelhart as much as ever, whatever curse he might be under, and whatever acts that curse might force him to commit. When she hears of Engelhart's successful mastery of the curse, she dedicates herself to him forever. Hildegunde tells the Baron that she will never renounce Engelhart. The Baron's plan having collapsed before him, having given Engelhart dignity rather than removed it, he flies into a rage. He tells Hildegunde that he will marry her anyway, and on the morrow at that. She will become his wife, or her parents' life will be forfeit.
Damn! That's great. I have made this. My plan is foiled. This man that I was going to have people get mad and terrified of is now nice and a good doggy. So I will marry the woman that he loves, and if she says no, I will kill her parents. Yes, that seems like the reasonable thing to do.
Act 3. The final act begins with the wedding feast for Hildegunda and the Baron. Hildegunda has cooperated due to her fear for her parents' lives, but now that the service is over, she is horrified to find herself that Baron's wife, and is mourning her final separation from Engelhart. After her poignant opening aria, the Baron approaches her and tries to draw her back to the party. He calls for the entertainment, hoping to cheer her up. In strides a traveling show of minstrels. They wear comic costumes and full face paint, and immediately proceed to play and juggle for the crowd. One of them, a mime with a tragic frown painted on his face, seems to want to hover near and amuse the bride. She keeps brushing him off, clearly depressed and tearful, and he does his best to make her laugh. After the amusing antics of the minstrel's first song, the tone changes, the minstrel's music grows dark and theatrical. The Baron protests, preferring the comedy, but he's reassured by Hildegunda's father. The minstrels gather in a circle around the frowning minstrel. They whirl around him, and he slowly sinks from sight. The music grows more frantic. Suddenly, the minstrels burst apart like petals, and standing in the center of the room is a wolf. The villagers scream, but Hildegunda cries out that it is Engelhart. The wolf does not attack the crowd. It only lifts its head and begins to howl. The Baron screams at the wolf to stop, and he screams at the villagers to kill the wolf, but they only stare in horror. The Baron pulls his hair and gnashes his teeth. He rises and makes it to the center of the banquet hall, where he falls down in a heap of wedding silk. What emerges from the silk is another wolf. Engelhart has revealed the Baron's terrible secret for all to see. He was the renegade wolf that had terrorized the village. The Baron wolf escapes from the hall through the main archway. Engelhart leaps after him. The villagers rally in a cry of horror and fury. One of the men grabs an axe from the wall and entreats the others to follow. They will stalk and kill the murderous wolf. The villagers storm through the archway. Hildegunda follows. The final scene takes place in the woods outside the village. The villagers hunt the two wolves. They follow the wolf tracks, singing of the apparent ferocity of the battle between the two wolves. Hildegunda answers the men's excitement with her own fear for Engelhart's life. The crowd emerges into a clearing. There, the two wolves are engaged in a final deadly embrace. As they watch, Engelhart triumphs, and the Baron wolf sinks to the ground and dies. Unfortunately, Engelhart is mortally wounded. His curse has been broken by the Baron's death, but it is too late. Hildegunda sings her love to him, while the villagers pronounce him a great hero. Engelhart dies, and all mourn in a sorrowful final aria.
And that is Wagner's final opera, Lost Opera or whatever. And that's apparently what's going to be played tonight.
Der Fluch des Engelhart by Richard Wagner, conducted by Herr Klaus Immerding and Herr Georg Immerding. I can't believe we've pulled it off.
So he's actually got his brother into it as well, which is going to be interesting. So, we have things we need to do. And the first thing we need to do is go down. And... this way? There's so many doors, I'm trying to remember which one's which. Yeah, okay, it's this one. We have to go to Grace's room because we have a lot of things to do.
A seating chart. This might be useful.
It might be useful to go into my pocket, you know, as it does. Let's go ahead and take a look at that seating chart.
It's a seating chart for the theater.
That might be useful. Alright, so then we need... the opera glasses. And what's this?
Here's that list I made.
So we have a list of things to do. What do we need to do?
I made this list of things to do.
So we have to test the chandeliers. Gabriel to be safe in Rittersburg Night of Opera. Warn HI about possible distraction. Wait until last minute. Figure out where to seat Von Glauer, and I'm guessing Lieb is Lieber. Inform Usher of seating plans. Set up secondary spotlight on Von Glauer. Run it myself. Find a way to trap Von Glauer in seat. Set up meeting with Lieber at theater. Make sure he's armed. So the whole point of this is to try and get oh, there's Gabriel right there in the behind Grace. I did not see him. So this whole thing is to try and get Von Glauer to be captured or killed, or, you know, we've had him, we need to get him. So, let's see what Gabriel has to say.
How do you feel?
Like someone's put broken glass in my brain.
I thought we'd have you back in Rittersburg by now. The Smiths are waiting for you there.
It's okay. Just stick me in a room somewhere. Are we ready for the test?
I'll check.
Could you see about some heat, Gracie? I'm really freezing in here. Are you cold?
Sure. It's cold. I'll see what I can do.
Good. You do that.
Turn around. So we got a lot of things we need to do. We have a checklist. We need to get started on this checklist, and the first thing we need to do is talk to Georg.
We have 1 hour, people. Herr Emmerding. Herr Emmerding.
Yes, Mr. Costello?
Herr Emmerding, I must again protest about my lack of vocalization in Act 3. I have not a single note until the transformation aria.
Now, how many times do we have to go over this? You are disguised as a silent minstrel.
I know that. But an aria, sung to the audience, off to one side, would be very effective. Hildegard has one.
Yes, but the audience is not supposed to know it's you until the transformation into a wolf. It's a surprise. You know, surprise.
I realize that's the way it's written. I simply disagree with its effectiveness.
Your opinion is noted. It's time to get ready, Georg.
You go. I want to go over this one more time.
You are my It's like, oh crap, what did I get myself into? Run away! So, let's go ahead and have a chit-chat with Georg and see what's on the up.
Georg, I need you to promise me something.
What?
There may be some distractions tonight in the audience in Act 3. I need you to keep playing no matter what.
What distractions? What are you saying?
Don't get upset. It's just, well, it is opening night. The audience might be a bit rowdy, you know?
Are you serious?
But we have extra security lined up, so if anything were to happen, it would be taken care of. So just, you know, keep playing.
Grace, I do not even want to know what you are talking about. This is a brand new Wagner opera. I am not going to stop the performance, even if Wagner himself comes floating out on stage.
Great. That's exactly what I wanted to hear.
He's like, what the hell are you talking about? And if you can see up here at the top, we have some guys working around. Let's go ahead and have a chat with them.
Herr Silbermeyer, I know you're working as fast as you can, but we're opening in less than an hour. I really need to run through some music once you're done.
Why music? They will not fall down.
I'm sure they won't, but, look, you told me they'd be done by noon.
You are lucky that we could even make them in so little time. And then we drive them here special this morning.
I know that. I know. You've been great. It's just... Is everything at least going according to the diagram?
We make it work.
What do you mean we make it work?
This diagram is not so good. We make changes, yeah?
Oh my God. Look, there weren't supposed to be changes. I told you to follow the diagram exactly.
Maybe in 1945 we followed diagram exactly. But today, we make changes.
What are you saying?
These measurements are not the same as today. Now, if we make the chandeliers the same distance from each other, just as marked, but the distance from chandeliers to the walls, no, not the same.
Why aren't the measurements the same? This is the Wittelsbacher Theater, isn't it?
Yeah, but not the same Wittelsbacher Theater. The bombs hit the first one. This one is very close, but smaller.
But everything looks so old.
Oh, they take the art and the wood and save it. Remake theater later, after the war.
Of course. Of course. How could I be so stupid? I'm a history major.
It's okay. The chandeliers work good. Same distance from each other, but just not two walls.
Yes. I'm sure you've done your best. Thank you.
Overacting has returned, ladies and gentlemen. Ha ha! You thought you missed it. You didn't. That face. Aw, I'm fired. Oh boy, I'm fired. So, we have the theater diagram, so we need to take a look at it now.
I suppose that large X had something to do with the seating arrangements. It's in a nice line from the chandeliers.
So what he was saying was that from here to here, and I'm guessing from here to here and such, is all the same, but from here to the walls outward are different now because it's actually a smaller area. So which means the X had something to do with the seating, so now we need to look at the seating, and it would have been here.
The large X on Wagner's diagram is in an area called the Mittelloge on the seating chart. I'd better check it out.
So we need to go and check out the Mittelloge to make sure that everything is going to work out the way it's supposed to be for this whole shindig that's going to be going down. So when we come back, we will go ahead and do that. And we'll see what happens. We're getting close. We're getting close. Also, Grace. Never change. Your overacting is so good. And so annoying. Catch you later.